Hello, dear students. This is Miss Carrier, obviously, in my virtual classroom. So you are coming to my parlor. We are going to look today at just a few tips on online learning at home. And then I'm going to give you a tour of the English LMS site so that you can feel a little bit more comfortable with it. And there'll be some time for you to explore the site and familiarize yourself with just where everything is. I am going to go ahead and tell you my office hours are going to be from 9:30 to 12, and then from 1 to 3 each day. You can contact me through the chat or through email. Outside of those hours, you can still send me an email, but I may not be able to respond until the next school day. I may be able to respond that day, so we'll see how it all goes. But do feel free to ask any questions if and as you have them. What I'm going to do is share with you my screen, and we're going to look at a few tips that I have gleaned from both being homeschooled and from being online, both for my master's program and for some uh, teaching classes that I've taken. So first, want to focus on learning at home. So it's important to go ahead and develop a routine. It's going to look different for everybody because you're also working with your family on this. But if you have a general guideline in place, you're more likely to be able to make yourself accomplish things and also not get stressed with things at the last minute or overwork on things that maybe shouldn't be taking more than 15, 20 minutes. Also, get up at a decent time and go to bed at a decent time. We may have a little bit more flexibility with our hours, but our bodies still are meant to operate in the daytime. So that also helps you to get plenty of sunlight, unless you're like me and your room is no windows. But I can always go upstairs and outside. So get dressed in the morning. That helps you get into the mindset of, hey, I'm going to go and accomplish something today. And it also is a nice thing for your family. So they deserve for us to look presentable as well. We keep a planner. So while I have a lot of things on the online site, you're going to want to be able to compile all of your things from all of your classes, just like normal, hopefully, in your planner so that you can keep up with everything, the short-term dates and the long-term ones. And finally, I would say create a space for yourself. So we've had to do that as teachers, creating an office space at home. But I know that my siblings, they all have different places around the house that they prefer to work. And you have to be flexible with that. You can't hog the computer or the favorite comfy chair in the house. But if you are generally in the same place at the same time each day, it somehow just jumpstarts something in our brains of like, okay, I can do this. This is what I got to do. Some things from learning online, I've learned through trial and error and experience. Sometimes online things aren't as quick as we might think that they're going to be. So spend some time playing around, give yourself a tour. I had to do that when I came to Providence. I had to give myself a tour of that upstairs area because I kept getting turned around and I knew that I would. So I did that before school started by myself because while other people gave me a tour, I knew that my mind was in 50 bazillion places listening to what they had to say. So I went ahead and did that myself. So even though I'm giving you a tour of the site, you'll want to explore it yourself a little bit today, and I'm trying to provide you some time to do that. I would plan for margin as well, just in case there's a hiccup. That way you're not stressed out at the last minute. And I would also make sure that I save 2 copies of everything. Don't just rely on one computer or flash drive. Google Drive is something that's really awesome if you can set that up with your parents because it saves things as it goes and you've always got it as a backup as long as you have internet. I would also plan time to move around and drink plenty of water. Some of you all may not struggle with that, but if you're like me, I'm the type of person when I've got a big project or research thing, I'll zone in on that and I'll let it consume everything I'm doing. And then I feel terrible because I've been sitting and I'm not made to sit. I don't want to sit all day. The Lord didn't make us to sit at a computer all the time. So if you go ahead and plan those breaks, it's good. For your eyes. It's good for your joints, your spirits, everything. And I'll be posting some netiquette tips on the class wall as well so that we have some expectations that are just clear for how we communicate with each other online. Some final thoughts. We all need to make sure we're being flexible. So just make sure we listen first. I'm going to be offering grace as we work through this together. But also remember that we need to be flexible, not just with the people we're seeing online, but with our families, the people we're living with and juggling things with. Be creative. So I'm trying to provide some opportunities for that. And I'm hoping that this will help us to be able to engage with the material, maybe in a slightly different way than we have before. There'll be some things that are similar though too. Hopefully this will be a time where we can really focus on the Lord and the people around us. Maybe being able to listen or to, play that board game with that younger sibling is also, something key that I think this time could really be reserved for. And maybe we'll discover some true leisure and the beauty of the small things, and I'll have some more on that in the upcoming weeks. So those are just a few tips that I wanted to share with you. Next, I am going to, if it will let me, share my class dashboard with you guys. So what this looks like is very similar. It's the teacher version, but it's very similar to the student version of the English LMS page. If you're in the English B class, that would be 5th period, it's going to look the same. It's just going to have a B in a different color. So it'll all be the same. Class calendar, you'll want to use that as you keep up with your planner. It helps you to maybe focus on, okay, what's due when, because there are a lot of different little places that you can go on this site. The class wall is where I've posted my office hours and how you can contact me, so you can reference that. I also will be posting videos, and the way I'm going to take attendance is I will have a question with my daily video that it could be a silly question. So like this one's, what did you enjoy doing over spring break? You share that, and then I'm able to count you as present. So make sure you do it. Also, I want to know how to specifically pray for you. So I've put some ways for you to communicate prayer requests with me on this class wall. I also created sections for our class novels, individual novel, composition, and vocabulary and study skills. So you'll want to check all of those out. A few that I want to point out to you, one is the class novel. So for Our Town, we're going to finish reading the play. Sometimes we'll have quizzes with our novels or plays, and those will actually, you'll see them ahead of time so you can plan ahead, but you will also want to work on the quiz that day. It's open book though, so you should be fine. Our deeper things are going to happen in assignments and discussion posts, and that's also where some of the creativity and options will take place. So just make sure you read carefully, and if you have a question, always ask. And you can do that through the chat or through email. I want to be available for you guys. So individual novels, so you'll note that I changed some deadlines for that just to give us some flexibility. You do need to have your novel picked out and approved by me. We are doing that through email. Some of you already have, by Monday, March 30th. And then our individual novel unit that I've got here, I have your schedule submissions, some different ways that you can do that. It's due Wednesday, April 1st, and that's not a joke. It's actually due that day. So you'll want to make sure you read that section and do that. Composition, I don't have anything there yet, but we'll have our shorter assignments in a spot, and the worldview paper will put everything together, all the directions and turning in the steps of that in that section. Vocabulary, you're going to be very happy. Open book quizzes. They're still going to be every 2 weeks, and I will be providing some options for how you can practice and study those words. Study skills is where I'm going to take advantage of getting some feedback from you guys and maybe even show some creativity. So for the individual novel reveal, that's going to be due Monday. What you're going to do is you're going to share with your classmates your book and 2 reasons you chose it. So you can either just write that in complete sentences, or, and I'll let you look at this because I know some of you like to ham it up, there's a little creative alternative there. But don't spend all day doing it, please. It's, it's a small assignment. Looking ahead, this is going to give me some feedback ahead of time. So what you're going to do is you're going to write me a brief note about your excitement over the next few weeks and your concerns for the next few weeks. You'll notice that this clipboard right here, that's when there's an assignment, and I will be the only person to see that. So just know that I'm not asking you to share with the rest of the class on this particular assignment. I'll also put surveys in this section so that you all can feel like you can give me some feedback on what was helpful, what wasn't helpful with assignments, how much time you actually spent on the assignment. That way I can have a realistic picture as to how this is going. So as always, I want you to feel free to shoot me an email, contact me in the chat, schedule a Zoom meeting. I can help you with that. And I will be praying for you. And I look forward to seeing the things that you create and engaging with you as much as possible through the discussion and the class wall. So again, have a wonderful day, and I will see you on Monday. Bye.